We back. It's the Height Differential. That's the 6'6" Neil. I'm the 4'10" Nick. Before we get into recapping both Final Fours, remember, if you're watching live or catching us later, subscribe to the Height Differential. However you listen to pods, rate, leave it a review. Follow us on social. The big tournaments are both over.
It's over.
Watched a lot of hoops over the last 3 weeks.
It's
But
over.
on the men's side, after Saturday, seeing what they did to Arizona, and then beating UConn in a game that wasn't the style they wanted to play, I think it's pretty obvious that the best team won the national title.
Yeah, I mean, we've talked about Michigan all year long and how they've been so dominant and, all those 30-plus point wins and some of those 30-plus point wins against really good teams, especially early in the year. And they just proved all tournament that they were still that team and they were dominant, especially that Final Four game against Arizona where they just beat the brakes off of Arizona. And then into the championship game where they it was a back and forth early, and then Michigan kind of took control late in the first half and never really relinquished that control.
They did it, but UConn also did. I mean, they played the game the style they wanted to. They just couldn't get shots to fall. Despite that, they shot 31% of the game. Despite that, they still had a chance with under 2 minutes to go. What it came down to the fact that they just couldn't make enough shots, and they killed Michigan on the glass. They had 21, 22 offensive rebounds, but they just
22, yeah.
they started 0-11 from 3. The left rim in the championship game, the left side, if you're watching on TV, that rim was 0 for its first 19 from 3. Michigan was 0 for 8 in the first half, and then UConn started 0 for 11 in the second half from 3. And I wanted to go back and try to find the numbers for Saturday because I was actually talking to James Breeding via text, and we were the lead official. He used to be our boss at the Louisville Bats, now as a professor at U of L. It was really cool seeing him do the game. He was on TV a lot.
Yeah, go for things.
But we were talking to him, and we were talking about that left rim. And he said, yeah, it was like that the whole tournament. So I'd like to figure out what the numbers were on Saturday, too, on that left side, because I don't have them.
There, just a little tighter than the right rim? Like, they just tighten the screws a little too
Or
much?
it's just a coincidence.
Is it not
Or it's
level?
just a coincidence.
I mean, yeah, you talk about UConn missing shots, but, I mean, they outshot Michigan from 3. They had 9 3-pointers. Michigan had 2. Michigan was 2 of 15 from 3, 13%. I mean, each team was below 40% for the game. So, yeah, Connecticut didn't make shots, but Michigan wasn't making shots either.
No, I mean, combined, they were 11 for 48 for 23%. I think it was overall percentage-wise, it was the second worst national championship game we've seen. But, I mean, despite all that, it's 62-56 with just over 2 minutes to go, and it's when Reed gets that steal at the top of the key. Or not the top of the key, more closer to midcourt. And he's can't really catch up with the ball. Stumbles and grabs it before he goes out of bounds, hands it back to Solo Ball. He's got a chance to lay it in to get that, to cut the lead to 4. And if they can get that lead to 4 there, where this is a team that just never loses in the tournament, they were 19-0 in games beyond the Sweet 16 since 2011. If Solo Ball could finish that layup, that cuts it to 4. Instead, Michigan goes the other way in transition. I think it was Morris Johnson who almost lost it underneath the rim, was fumbling it by his legs, got it to Gale over in the corner, who then found Trey McKinney, who ball came flying past him. He stepped back and knocked down that 3. That's a 5-point swing. It goes to where Michigan or UConn's got a chance to get it to 4. Instead, McKinney hits a 3 on the other end. And really, that was kind of curtains. They got a chance when they had back-to-back turnovers, and then Caravan had the chance, came off that screen and had a chance to shoot a 3 from about 3 or 4 feet beyond the arc, and just left it short. That would have got it to 1. They had it back to 4 there. So, I mean, it really is incredible that UConn had a chance to win this game, but when you're a team as good as Michigan, you can win games multiple ways, and they did that. They had 55 possessions in this game, and they normally want to be more closer to 64, 65. They had 75 in the win over Arizona, which was one of the most of the season. Credit to UConn for making Michigan play their way, but I think more credit to Michigan for figuring out a way to win a game where it really wasn't their style of play.
Yeah, no, like you said, they had chances. They definitely had chances to get back in this thing, and it just didn't bounce their way. Michigan to me was the better team. They were the better team all year. This was their championship, and they proved it.
But admit when Caravan got that shot, when it left his hands, there was you thought it was going in
He
because
did.
that's what this team does.
What happens? Yeah, that's what I mean.
And when
Mullins had a good game. Mullins stepped up
no,
again. And,
nobody shot well. He had a lot of shots to get to the points he had.
I mean, what did he have? How many threes did Mullins have? About 4, 3 or 4,
Yeah, but it took him.
4. He
Mullins
was 4.
was
He was
3 of
4
10
7.
from three. Caravan was 3 of 10 from three. Solo Ball was 3 of 7, but the and honestly, the bank in three that Ball had really kind of was the first one that gave them a chance there at the end of the game.
Yeah,
They called timeout after that and then got the steal. And then you had the play where it looked like it was going to be, what they called a tie ball, where it looked like maybe Trey McKinney walked. They were talking about that on
yeah.
whether he. But look, dude, they don't call walks anymore. Like, do people even care about your pivot foot? and then, and then after the Caravan miss, where they go to the monitor, but out of desperation on the elbow. But here's another thing too, and Michigan deserves a lot of credit for this. They made 20 free throws in a row at one point, and were 25 of 28 from the stripe.
Yeah, I
And
mean
they made 20 in a row until Gale missed those two to really give them a chance.
no, that's the credit to them. Michigan's a physical team. They got to the line, and they were 25 to 28. They outscored UConn. This is a big stat in the game. They outscored UConn by 13 from the free throw line. I mean, you cut that in half, and it's a tie game. So, I mean, that's a big number. 25 of 28, and UConn was 12 of 16. So they shot 12 more, and they made 13 more. So that's just Michigan being that's their brand of basketball. They're a physical team. They got to the line, and that helped them win it.
Yeah, and I talked about how they limited them to 55 possessions. Michigan had 3 losses this year. That loss to Duke, in that game, they were limited to 62 possessions. And that loss to Purdue, they were limited to 63. So here they're limited to even fewer possessions and figure out a way to win. Now, if UConn shoots it a little better, maybe it's a different story. I mean, I think the Michigan's defense deserves a lot of credit for that too.
Absolutely. Yeah.
The game on Saturday, like we had just talked about how this was going to be the game of the century,
Yeah. It was not
and
that. It was not that.
dude, 5 minutes in, and
Or
it's
straight
just
out. Yeah.
it's like they're blocking every shot. They're just getting layups. They're dunks. Like, just put it on them. They were up 77 to 47 with 10:31 to go. They were up 30 points in that.
Against Arizona, a team that's lost twice all year and has been number 1 in the country for the majority of the time.
That, like I said last week, could easily be undefeated. They could have won both those games they've lost. They were right there. And just a nothing game. The game before that was Illinois made a run late, got it to 4, thought maybe they'd have a chance, and then off the offensive rebound, which whenever there's offensive rebound, it gets kicked out for a 3. I don't care how deep it is. More than likely it's going in, and Braylon Mullins, who hit the game winner in the game before, knocked down a big deep 3 to extend that lead to 7. But the games, I don't know, there was so much hype for this Final Four. And clearly the Arizona-Michigan game did not live up to the hype. It was just a ass kicking. And I mean, really, both of the other 2 games got it to where it was 4, but the outcome was never really in doubt in either
No.
one.
No, UConn controlled that game against Illinois. I mean, they were up most of the way, and I mean, I even think they might have been up, what, 10, 11 at some point, and Illinois came clawing back, but, I mean, UConn controlled that game. It was not and I mean, there was never a point where I was like, "Illinois is gonna pull this off."
Well, I punched that money line when it was they were down 14.
14.
So I was feeling pretty good there for a second. Should have cashed out, didn't, so I win nothing. But I just wanted a good game. I just wanted a good game. The I did want to talk about this. The halftime show. Why are we waiting 50 minutes to play the second game?
Because we had
And
to
why
listen to the Chainsmokers, Nick. We get the Chainsmokers to get
and
'em on
look,
there.
I'm gonna quote my dude Scott Van Pelt, who tweeted this during halftime. Who asked for this?
This is the first time they've done this, right? I I can't remember another time they've done this.
Well, I I just don't understand. I don't know who are they trying? Who is this for? Who is this for? Because
Students over there? I don't know. I don't know.
nobody's tuning in at halftime just as a Chainsmokers fan and only watching halftime. The
You don't
entire halftime.
there's one Chainsmoker fan that tuned in. At least one.
What you're talking about in the world? I'm sure there's multiple Chainsmokers fans. But
I think that they tuned in just for halftime. They didn't watch the game. They're like, the
do you think
Chainsmokers
they
are
didn't watch the game? There's people that exist that didn't
one
watch the game.
I'm gonna say there's at least one person that did that. It might be related to the
What
Chainsmokers,
about
but
the people at the venue, like at Lucas Oil? Are they
I
excited about this?
I don't know. Has there
I
been
mean,
any kind of has anybody that was there, have they come out and voiced their opinions on it? It looked
I just
awkward. It just looked awkward to me. I don't know.
and look, it makes more sense in venue than it does TV. But like the whole time, I look up at the clock at one time and we're 40 minutes till tip. And I'm like, what is happening? And I just don't understand. Like, I think we're trying too hard sometimes.
Like, the teams were warming up as the Chainsmokers were in concert, right?
I don't think so.
Well, they weren't even on the
I
court?
don't think they were out there. No.
Oh, okay.
Look, this is another thing too. Dusty May in the first half, as far as I know, is one of the first head coaches to actually be out there in media row, like scouting. And look, if he said that he wanted to soak it in, and I get that, and he wanted to see the other two teams in person, and I get that as well. It doesn't happen very often, which is kind of surprising to me. Normally, they send their assistants out if they're going to go out at all. But maybe he also was one of the few people that knew that there's going to be a 50-minute
Chainsmokers.
time in between games, and I'll have plenty of time to talk to my guys.
Maybe he hung around for the first couple minutes of the Chainsmokers. Is he a Chainsmoker fan? Old
I don't
Dusty?
know.
I mean, do you even know a Chainsmoker
I
song?
do not. But maybe if I heard it, I would know it.
Yeah,
But
I think
I
you're
can't
right.
sit here and tell you the name of a song.
I couldn't either. I couldn't either.
And look, I'm still in a really good media guys, Scott Van Pelt. I'm still in what he said too on this one. Nobody goes to a Chainsmokers concert and in the middle of it expects to see a dunk contest or a 3-point contest out of nowhere. And to me, it's a perfect analogy because it makes no
I
sense.
mean, I guess they're trying to be like the Super Bowl, and they're trying to go the Super Bowl route. It's halftime of basically the Final Four, and we're gonna have a concert, and I just don't think it landed the way that they thought or hoped that it would.
You also are 50 minutes in between games. And you've got what's the old Saturday Night Live guy that pretends like he's James Naismith on the commercials? He's out there for
All
a
right.
segment
All right.
on
I mean,
TBS for
we
a
didn't
good
have the
5,
audio.
10 minutes.
We didn't have the audio on because we were at Manhattan Project, but that
But
just looked
he's on
awkward.
TV forever.
Yeah. That just looked awkward. I don't know.
Look, it's the best tournament in the world, and we're getting ready to screw it up by adding more teams. But it doesn't mean it's perfect. There's things we could change about it to make it a little better. And waiting 50 minutes in between games on Saturday, when it's the most anticipated game of the year is one of them. And I don't know, it just resonated with me. The fact that I just remember looking up at that TV thinking that the game's gonna get ready to start and there's 40 minutes to go. And I'm just like, what is happening?
Well,
Because we're used to 2025.
the
Game's over,
Chainsmokers
get those teams out there, let them warm up, and let's tip it in 20, 25 minutes.
the Chainsmokers concert provided a little more entertainment than that game too did. That's
Are you sure about that?
yeah, 30-point beatdown, not interesting.
Did you stay up to watch the one shining moment?
No, did not.
Yeah,
I was driving home from Bones' house at that time,
well,
and
I mean,
I never
you were
did go
probably
back.
home by the time one shining moment ran
I never did go back to look at it.
because it didn't run
To me,
till
it's one
midnight.
shining moment. To make I get it. It's nostalgia and it's part of the tournament and everybody looks forward to it. I'm not that guy. It doesn't mean anything to me unless my team wins a title. Like what I'm gonna sit there and watch it for like a 2-second clip of my favorite team that lost in the second round. Like, don't care.
I don't remember if they showed the cards,
They might not even been in there. So to me, yeah, it doesn't even really matter.
but I
So
did stay up and watch it. It's just kind of a tradition, kinda puts a bow on the whole tournament. Listening to Luther sing one shining moment.
I mean, you can listen to
Yeah.
Luther sing "The Shining Moment" anytime that you want through Apple
Yeah, but
Music.
it's different. I know I can do that, but on a random Wednesday in June, I'm not gonna just start bumping one shining moment. That doesn't make a lot of sense. When you come over and have a pool party, I'm not putting one shining moment on the loudspeaker. When we're tailgating for the Bengals game, I'm not putting one shining moment on. There's very few moments where you listen to one shining moment, and that's the one or
It
the
is the
main one.
no, it is the main one. But I don't know. To me, it's not that important. Like I said, unless my team wins the title.
Best moments of the tournament?
I mean,
What
it's got to
sticks
be
out?
The Mullen shot over Duke. It's got to be the number one moment of the tournament to get them to the Final Four, and completing that comeback. Um, I mean, I think that's head and shoulders above any other moment. But what do you think?
Yeah, I mean, that is the moment of the tournament. You've also got High Points win over
Yeah,
Wisconsin,
yeah.
the Nebraska Vanderbilt game
I thought
where
you were going to throw out the Miami Redhawks with their win in the tournament since you cried about getting them in the tournament all year long.
no,
They
that's
finally won a
it's
game,
not a it was
proved
cool that they won a
themselves.
game. Cool that they won a game. I don't think still don't think SMU is very good and deserved probably not to be there either, but that's why we've talked about this. This tournament does not need to be expanded, and it looks like it's gonna happen. Looks like it's gonna be expanded by 12 more teams, which is just ridiculous. The Kentucky game, the Oweh shot in the first round was
I
pretty
mean, are those
amazing.
really the only 2 buzzer beaters, the Oweh shot and Mullins? Is there another buzzer beater in there we're forgetting about?
The well, no, it wasn't a buzzer beater. The Iowa game against Florida was right there.
Yeah, yeah, that was close. Then we had the opening game of the tournament, TCU, Ohio State was a shot with what, couple seconds left. I'd put this up there, the St. John's layup. That's a buzzer beater. Layup over Kansas.
Oh, that was that.
That was a buzzer beater. Yeah,
Yep, yep. And that game deserves to be on the list too.
that does deserve to be on. That was a great game. Yes.
But before we move on, and we're going to talk a little bit about the women's Final Four too. Is there anything? And I'm putting you on the spot because I didn't tell you were going to ask this, and I just kind of thought about it over my head. But is there anything you change about the tournament after watching it? Like kind of sticks out? Because I can go first because I've got a clear one.
Okay. I'll say like nothing comes to mind, but
I I just think we can stagger some of these games better. Like the Sweet 16, where you could stagger those 4 games better than we do.
so you want to put
And
more games early instead of stacking them late?
well, right now, the way they do it, they tip it like 7 and 7:20. So those games are pretty much on top of each other. If you remember the second game that started, it was Thursday or Friday. That game actually finished before the first game. So the games are pretty closely. There's a chance that they're ending at about the same time.
And so what do you want? Do you want, like, on that Thursday to have the first game start at, like, 5?
I think you could do 6, 7, 8, 9. Then like and then you've got at least an hour in between. Like, I want to watch the endings of all these games that I can,
It's a little 6,
and
7, 8.
also like this the Saturday, Sunday of the first round, where we've got one region that's all by itself, the 12 and the 2:30 games. Why are we doing that every year? And then all of a sudden we've got 4 games at the same time in that late
You
window.
want Yeah, so you're talking about that Saturday, Sunday 2nd round when there's
Yeah,
8
that
games.
too.
Instead of doing 1 at noon, 1 at 2:30, and then you've got 6 games that are stuffed into a 4-hour window, you want double them up early?
Yeah, and I think the women did a really good job of that on the ESPN side of just kinda stacking them. And I get it, it's a little easier because in the 1st and 2nd round on the women's side, you're playing at all I mean, not all different venues, but you have a lot more venues. So, the fact that you have fewer venues in the men's side makes it a little harder, but I think you can still stagger these games more, so we've got opportunity to watch. And look, it's just because I wanna watch more games, and I wanna be able to watch and look, I can have 3 TVs, I can have 4 TVs, but being focused solely on one game that's finishing when you get like, 1st round, you can't do that. Like, there's no way around it, and that's what makes it awesome, that there's 4 games going on at one time. But once you get to the 2nd round, I think they can do a better job of staggering these games and allowing you to watch more.
Yeah, I would agree with that. I mean, is it a necessary change? No, but
I'm nitpicking,
yeah,
but they are
yeah,
the best it's the
nitpicky.
best event in sports, and
It is
but still, the
tricky.
best things can get better, and instead, we're gonna make it worse. But can you think of anything else?
Nothing that pops in my mind. I mean, it's a really good tournament. I think they do a good job with it. I mean, we've talked about not expanding. I mean, that's one thing I would not do. That's one thing I would not change. But other than that, no. I mean, I like that they still do the 4 regions, unlike the women that do the 2. Um,
And that's a cost thing.
it is a cost thing, and yeah, and an attendance thing, and whatever else. But
I mean, ideally, your Final Four is not at a football venue, but it's
I mean,
never
some of
gonna
those seats. You see some of the pictures of those seats.
and it's bad for the fans, but they show up,
But they pay the money
and
to do it. Like, they
it's
show up,
bad.
they buy the ticket. If they buy the ticket, sell it to them.
Oh, and that's why it'll never change because they're filling those football stadiums, and from the top, you can't see anything.
Mhm.
But I think the basketball's I don't know this for a fact, but from my eye test, I think the basketball's a little worse. Like, it's such a cavernous venue. It's just your backdrop is just never ending. Dude, that's another Dusty Bay thing. Took them out to the big house
Oh,
and
yeah.
brought a goal in the big house, and they're just shooting
Yeah.
hoops in the big
Yeah.
house. Like, I
Yeah.
give him credit for that.
Yeah, I do too.
But yeah, those are and look, I know the second one's not gonna change, but I do wish that we could play it in basketball venues, but when you're getting 70, 80, 90,000 people,
Yeah, it's not
you
gonna
ain't going backwards. And Michigan, before I got one more thing before we go. All 5 starters didn't start their career at Michigan.
all transfers.
How you
Which they
like,
say, I mean, it is the first time in history that's happened, but, that's obviously gonna be the case because transfers are way more prevalent now than they ever have been. But, I mean, it just proves that, if you have a bad year, like, if your team didn't do well or didn't meet expectations this year, you can start over and win a title the very next year. You just gotta bring in the right guys. So it gives you hope.
yeah,
Gives you hope.
it's just we'll see who I mean, I would imagine Cadeau comes back, McKinney, I would imagine they both come back. You never know in this era what could happen, but it's
Mara
where we are
didn't
right
Mara
now.
he was only a junior. You think Mara comes back? He's only a junior, right?
I think after his performance in the Final Four, I think
He gets
he
drafted?
yeah, I think he's gonna get drafted, but it's just the era we're in, and I mean, there's some unfortunate things about it. Like, you don't get to watch players go from freshmen to seniors. I mean, everybody talks about how much Elliot Cadeau struggled in his first year at North Carolina and how much he grew in his second year at UConn, right?
Mhm.
Who's to say he doesn't do the same damn thing if he stays at UNC? Like, we don't wait around to see. Like, most freshmen when they become sophomores become better players.
That's usually how that
And
works.
and, like, we act like if he woulda stayed at UNC, he would have not progressed, and
It's all about coaching in some of those situations too. Like, I don't know. To me, Dusty May probably a better developer of talent than maybe Hubert Davis was, but maybe
I
it's the
think
system. Maybe I mean it's all about the system as well and how they use you. And I don't know. I think he would have been fine at North Carolina, but he goes to Michigan, gets his chance to shine, and he walks out with the most outstanding player of the entire tournament.
yeah. I mean, Yaxel getting hurt playing 14 minutes in the game on Saturday, and you don't know if he's gonna play. He's dealing with an ankle and a knee. First half, looks like he's barely getting him
Probably
down the court. Does his interview
he
with
did
Tracy
not look
Wolfson,
fit.
said, "I feel awful." From a I don't know if I've ever heard the honesty in an interview like that. And he still plays 35, 36 minutes, goes for double figures. So good on him. But when he's not at full strength, you need somebody else to step up, and Cadeau did that.
Yes.
And I
Yeah.
thought McKinney was huge in moments too, man. Well, I guess that puts a bow on the 2026 men's tournament. On the women's side, you had for the second time in not last year, but in the last couple, I know it was 2018, you had all four number ones. Last year, we had four number ones on the men's side. The second game, UCLA beats Texas. It's 20-17 at half,
Ugh.
and they end up winning 51-44. And I've talked to you about this off the show. There's a lot of positive momentum for women's basketball. This tournament, I don't feel like really helped it. Like, the games were just not that great,
Oh,
especially after we got out of the first and second round.
no, I was looking forward to this Final Four. I thought this Final Four was gonna be absolutely outstanding. These 4 teams that made it, all 1 seeds, were head and shoulders better than everybody in the country all year
Without
long.
question.
I thought it was gonna be competitive. I thought it was gonna be, scoring up in the 70s and whatnot. Yeah, you get a 51-44 snooze fest in that UCLA Texas game.
20-17 at half. Like, how
You
many
got
people are checking that to make sure that the score bug is right?
I mean, you got Madison Booker from Texas shooting 3 for 23 for the game. Like, God bless. 3 for 23. Rory Harmon, the stud guard from Texas, only scores 8 points. She's 4 of 11 from the field, and it's just golly. Yeah, it's just a bad it was bad. It was real
And
bad.
then you got Gino earlier in the tournament complaining about how the shooting was so bad in these venues that aren't really basketball venues. Now, they're not playing football venues, but I think the venue in Fort Worth was a rodeo venue, so it's not really
It
a
was a rodeo.
basketball venue. They've got new basketball goals, so he's already complaining about that. They get to their 18th Final Four in the last 19 years. They're undefeated. Their smallest margin of victory all year was 3 points against Michigan. Their second smallest margin of victory was 13 points against Louisville in their season opener. That was their second smallest win, 13 points. And you get the Don Staley, you get the Geno matchup in the Final Four, rematch of last year's national championship, where UConn really put it on them in Paige Becker's finale. And dude, South Carolina just bullied UConn,
Mhm.
and their physicality would not allow them to get in their offense. Gino obviously was frustrated. You could tell that from his interview with Holly Rowe at the end of the third quarter. Didn't feel like South Carolina was getting fouls called for how physical they were being. UConn finishes with 48 points. Their lowest prior to that was 63, which was in the tournament as well against North Carolina. And then we get the post-game handshake or whatever it was with Gino and Don Staley, and we still don't know exactly what was said, but we think it was something about the handshake at the beginning of the game where he was waiting for Don Staley and she never showed up.
He was
But
complaining about waiting to like, he was standing there waiting for it, and it took her too long to come shake his hand pregame, and how that was a breach of etiquette on on her part, which is just something really stupid to complain about if you're Gino, but
there's video of them shaking hands before the game. I don't know when it
yes,
was.
yes, you don't
Look,
have
in
to.
beatnik games, a lot of times you have when there's 10 15 on the pregame clock. You see the coaches kind of meet up and chat, and then after lineups, they do it again. And I think this is the one that he was talking about didn't really happen after lineups, but it's when you never lose, when you're undefeated, when you've been to 18 and 19 Final Fours, and you finally lose a game, and this is how you react. I don't care what you say. We win with class, we lose with class. We do it with dignity, dude. You were I don't know what happened, but you lost your cool, and it was not a great look for Gino on
No,
that
I
on
mean, the
Friday night.
last 2 weeks has not been a good look for Gino. I mean, him whining and complaining about
I was fine
basketball
with
the whole
that.
I'm not fine with that. No, like, that's just like, that's stupid, and having to get up and go to a press con and all that, like, you whined and complained the week before, then you whine and complain in your interview in the in-game interview with Holly about how if he talked to the officials the way that Don Staley was talking to the officials, he'd be thrown out, and how they ripped my player's jersey, even though that was false. She ripped her own jersey. And then
Another point, another great point. He never said that. Like, he never acknowledged that. Like, yes, that she ripped her own jersey. He
yeah,
never
correct.
acknowledged that.
He never did acknowledge that. No. And then yeah, then you go into the post game handshake line where he wants to act like a complete jackass and completely uncalled for. You know, like your team got beat, you played like crap. It sucks your season came to an end. Nobody was expecting this, but just shake hands and go back to the locker room. Like, be mad at your own team. Don't be mad at the other team.
So obviously he's a male coach. Don says a female coach. 3 female officials in that game on Friday. There's a part of me in the back of my mind that is like, that played a role in his frustration. And I'm not saying it's warranted because it's not. The way he acted is not warranted. But I think in the back of his mind, that played a role. And just being around the game, like, I'm not saying
Do
I
you
can
think
see
it
it,
do you
but
think it played a
I
part
don't
in the way that the game was officiated? Like,
I
were
don't
they
I
more
I
biased
don't think
toward
it's
Donna?
impossible for it not to.
So you
But
think
I'm als
in the matchup of a male coach and, like, and a female coach, there should be at least 1 male official?
No, I don't. I'm not saying that.
Okay.
But I do think sometimes male coaches look at that.
I mean, that's
And
I'm not
the
saying
bottom line is you got bullied and you got your ass beat and you couldn't score a bucket, and every time you made a run, they answered, and they were the better team by a lot.
and then after the altercation, a lot of lip reading was going on what Don Staley was saying. It appeared to say that I'd kick
I'll
Gino's
beat
ass.
I'll beat Gino's ass.
I'll beat
I'll beat
Gino's ass.
Gino's ass several times. And dude, I'll give her credit. She ain't gonna back down. And I think that's another part of this whole thing too is it's still UConn here maybe, but South Carolina is getting closer
You know what? As much of
with
the
what she's
jackass
done.
as much as a jackass that Gino was and how uncalled for that whole thing was, it spiced it up, man. It's the spiciness of a boring Final Four. People were talking about it. It adds another rivalry to this thing. So when I mean these two teams play frequently. I mean UConn plays all the top teams almost every
Yeah.
single
And
year. So these
they'll
teams,
both be in the Final Four again next year
you
probably.
know, like they're gonna see each other probably next year, and this is good. I mean, it's bad for the game of what like his look of it all, but it gets people talking. It's got there's buzz around it, so people are gonna pay attention to this next year.
Look, and he's not somebody to shy away from speaking his mind, and we've seen that his whole career. But the way he acted after the game on Friday was new. That's not
It was
something that we've seen before.
it wasn't.
And you do wonder, like you said, like this tournament, once you got to the Sweet 16 and beyond, there weren't a ton of great games. There wasn't a lot of great shooting. The product, unfortunately, was not as good as it could have been. And was there some strategy into what he's doing? Potentially. Trying to add some controversy to get people talking about it.
That's a stretch, but
I think it is, but
we'll see. I don't know, but I mean, how many more years do you think Gino's got left?
he don't look like he's going anywhere. Don't look like it. But I just it's really then you get to the title game and you hope it's going to be a good game, UCLA South Carolina, and It's not. The UCLA wins 79-51. They were up 11 after 1 quarter, 13 at the half, and then they outscored South Carolina 25-9 in the 3rd to put it away. UCLA's first ever title. Corey Close's first ever title, obviously. They've got 6 seniors. Kiki Rice and Gabriela Jaquez were there all 4 years, which is that's something we've talked about. You don't see very often anymore. So them to have that on a national championship team is pretty cool. Lauren Betts was there 3 years after leaving Stanford. Um, and then Dugalik, who comes off the bench, has been there 4 since leaving Oregon. So they've got 4 players that have been there at least 3 years and lost 1
What
game all season. There's somebody
6
that I
seniors?
thought do what?
What'd you say? 6 seniors?
6 seniors overall. They had 2 transfers that came in this year that were seniors. But Hawkes in the final was just unbelievable. And but good just they I've talked about them a little bit on the show because after Coach Walls was talking about how ESPN can be lazy with the teams they cover, and it's how it's always UConn, it's always South Carolina,
Yeah.
uh, that UCLA probably deserved a little more coverage,
Mhm.
and they did it the hard way.
I mean, it's Walls is right. I mean, they do deserve some more coverage. It's a little harder since they're a West Coast team and, their games aren't they're maybe playing at 10 o'clock Eastern time most of the time, and, the East Coast doesn't really know much about them. But they deserve to be
Well,
talked
tell
more because they
tell
had a
that to
dominant.
ESPN about Juju Watkins' coverage last year at USC,
That's true. That's true. But
because
no, they
Lauren you tell me Lauren Betts doesn't deserve the coverage that Juju got
Lauren
last
Best
year?
absolutely deserves the
'Cause she
coverage.
didn't get it. She didn't get
She
it.
did. She did. She deserves it though. You're right.
I mean, how many people were just figuring out who Gabrielle Jaquez is on Friday and Sunday?
Most of America. Most of America.
I mean, her got a brother that also played for UCLA that played in a title game. Yeah, Final Four. Yeah, they lost in the Final Four. But dude's putting up numbers for the Heat in the league. That's a story. Like, we should be hearing this stuff,
I agree.
and that's why he's right. You said when I hear him talking at the end of the ACC tournament, I'm thinking UCLA. And UCLA did it the hard way. Congrats to their 6 seniors. Congrats to Corey Close. And
Good news for Corey Close. Now the season's over. She can get a little sleep. She seemed
yeah, she
tired.
can, but she got
She was tired. She had to get
she's
up
very
early to do
tired.
some media. She was
She's
very
very
tired.
tired. Now, I
Gets a
don't know
little
if she
little sleep.
yeah, she got a little work to do to fill out that roster now,
She does. She got lot of spots to fill.
as does every other coach in America,
Yep. It's portal
as
season. Portal season.
it's portal season, and on the men's side, per Jeff Goodman, you said, what, 1,800 players in the portal?
Oh yeah, let's look at the stats here. This was as of about an hour ago. 1,850 Division I men's players have hit the portal. And that is basically the percentage of scholarship players that have eligibility left. That's 49% of all scholarship players that still have eligibility remaining. 49% of the players are in the portal.
And on the women's side, the numbers I don't have the percentage, but on the women's side, it's 1,000, around 1,000. It's more normal for your players to go in the portal than for them not to, I feel like at this point.
And also, if I was a player, I'd do the same thing. I would see what my value is on the market, and you just go back to this place you came from if you want to. And there are players that withdraw their names from the portal and go back to the school,
That doesn't
but
happen very often.
it doesn't happen often, but it's an option. But I
Like,
mean,
it happened with Isaac Brown at U of L in
yeah,
football, but
yeah.
I feel like that was really rare.
I mean, didn't Owe do it for Kentucky last year? He tested the draft waters and was
But
in maybe in
testing
the
the draft
portal.
waters and coming back, I think, is different.
I mean,
That's
he
not the
was
same
maybe
thing.
in the portal, not in the portal. I don't know, but uh, it if you're a kid and you're looking for, I mean, it's all about the money now. So you might as well get in the open market, have your agent feel it out, see what you're worth, and if you don't like what you're hearing, then just go back to the school you came from.
Or have some damn loyalty to your program and be
Nobody
proud
saying
of
you
your
have
school that
loyalty.
you
Go back
that
if
you
you
played
want to.
for it. Like, it ain't always about chasing a damn dollar. The grass ain't always greener. Like, can we have some loyalty in college hoops?
What's the Jeff Walsh quote he always says?
Yeah, because
Sometimes you
it's
think the grass is just fertilized with
fertilized
bull.
with shit. Yeah, with bullshit, and he's right. Like,
He's
I
100% right. I
dude,
love it's one of my favorite quotes of his.
I'm I get it. I'm old school, and it's not gonna change until the rules change,
No, it sucks
but
for the fans. It sucks for the schools, it sucks for the fans, but kids are doing what they gotta do. It's not changing, it's gonna get worse probably.
I mean, Nebraska, dude's a starter. Burke Bayuk started every game this year. Averaged 6.5 points, 5.6 rebounds. It's his second year there. Where did he start? Started at UCLA his first year, so he's a junior. After their great season, they win their first ever NCAA tournament game. They get to their Sweet 16. Dude's getting a tattoo to commemorate the season.
Yep,
27-8.
yeah.
The next day, deuces. I'm going to the portal
Well, I mean, is that because he wanted to go to the
because he got
portal,
a
or
bad
did he have a
tattoo.
co or did he have a conversation with Fred Hoiberg, and Hoiberg was like, "Hey, we're looking at bringing in a guy at your position that maybe can give us more than what you gave us."
And look, and
Like,
I think that's a fair point. It's not always on the player side. I think that is an absolute fair
I mean,
point.
well, give me his stats again. What'd you say?
He averaged 6 and 5, 6 and a
Exactly.
half and 5.5.
As a starter, maybe you're looking for a little more than that. So Hoiberg's maybe like, we're going to bring in a guy that might help us a little more than 6 points and 5 rebounds. And then he's might be like, all right, coach, I respect that. I'm going to go look for an opportunity where I can play, start again. So maybe that's, I mean, we don't know the story. That to me, that's very plausible.
Don't I don't. I don't know the story. And maybe that is what happened. But it's still
It's
just
still weird.
you get a tattoo commemorating
Well,
your
speaking of
season,
that, well,
and
can I,
then a day later you're like, thanks, but I'm gonna be playing for somebody else next year.
Kenai Roos, who's in the portal for Louisville, he's got that leg tattoo that's spells out CARDS, and it has like all the different things for each letter of like the program standards and all that. Well, he's in the was he gonna go get that covered up now?
Well,
He can go
like
play
just think,
for another ACC team?
don't get your
Leg
girlfriend's name
tattoo?
tatted on you because when you
Yeah,
break up, what are you gonna do? What are you
go
gonna turn
find a
that
girl.
cards in now to?
You
Can
go
I
find another
Roots?
girlfriend with the same name is what you got to do.
Yeah, that's easier said than done. So it limits Can I Roos options next year.
Ball
He can go
State and
play.
Stanford.
He can go to ball. Well, he's got to take the S off if he goes to
Yeah, take the
Stanford,
other. That's a lot easier to do than taking the whole tattoo off.
or he could try to go to the draft to the Arizona Cardinals or the St. Louis Cardinals. I don't. Other than that, I don't know what he's gonna do next year.
Yeah. No, it's crazy.
And you had said they're looking to do something with to give you 5 years of eligibility if
Yeah.
you're
Yeah, the NCAA came out today. Saw this today. They're proposing an eligibility rule change that I guess will be voted on in the near future. That will take place and or will go into effect in the fall of 2026. So starting this fall, basically 5 years of eligibility in 5 years. So 5 years from your 19th birthday or the year that you graduate high school, you have 5 years of eligibility. There are no more red shirts, no medical red shirts, no waivers, no nothing. It's you've got 5 years to figure this out, and you can play all 5 years. If you get hurt, you still have 4 more years. So kind of trying to limit more, get this thing standardized, and it eliminates bringing back 26-year-old G League players that have been out of college for 5 years, and which is
which
just
what we
stupid.
needed
And
a rule to eliminate that is insane.
I mean, this does officially eliminate that portion of that. So I don't know. They're just trying to make it more standardized, and you're not denying some guys here and approving some guys here, and it's pretty clear cut. I'm in favor of it.
Well, I mean, there's nothing to not be in favor. I don't know what it accomplishes.
You're
Like,
just giving
you,
guys an extra year. So usually you got 4 years, or you play 4 years, you got to move on. Now you can play a total of you can play all 5 years. So seniors can now come back.
and that's
I mean,
fine.
really,
And
it kind of hurts the freshmen, like the incoming freshmen. Like you're going to limit opportunities of high school kids
but
with this one.
it's like coaches shouldn't be redshirting players for the last couple of years, knowing that they can go wherever they want. Because I don't know the percentage, but I guarantee you the percentage of redshirted players and them leaving the program is damn high. And to me, that's all this kinda does is says there's no point in redshirting because you ain't gonna keep people from getting hurt. Like, there's nothing you can do about that. I would like to see some kind of incentive to where you're rewarded for being somewhere for 4 years. If you're at the same school for 4 years, then you get a 5th year, to give somebody an incentive to stay somewhere. I I would
What if
like
your
to
coach
see
what if your coach leaves? What if,
well, that there's gonna be stuff like that that allows you to leave.
see, then you're just going back into the whole, "I need to get a waiver. I need to get this for this to happen." No.
There but at least then you've got rules. At least with waivers, you've got some rules. We're seeing too many kids that are playing 5 years at 5 different schools, and
Why does that bother you?
I don't know what good it does anybody. What good does that do anybody?
What does it hurt?
Like, that student athlete, are they really even a student athlete?
No, we know this, man. Like,
Like,
let's stop
none
pretending
of the
like this is
fans
the
have
old days.
loyalty to them.
Let's stop pretending like this is the old days where student athletes are there. We're here for school. Like, we're not here to. Who was the Ohio State quarterback that said, "I'm not here to play school"? These kids aren't here to play school. They're here to play ball. They're here to get paid, and they're here to get. If you get a degree, that's a bonus. A lot of kids don't care about that because they're just trying to go play professionally, whether that's in the NFL, the NBA, or overseas somewhere and get a contract in Turkey or Russia to play basketball. Like, they're here to play ball and get that pro contract.
Yeah, I mean, I just if you could have a one transfer rule, and other than that, you gotta sit out, and then you keep this 5 and 5, then that gives you incentive not to transfer because if you do transfer a second time, then you have to sit out a year. I think that's a decent would be a decent addition to these rules to try to limit a little bit. Like, I understand the other side of the argument. Coaches can leave whenever they want, no matter what their contract is, and that's true. But we're not seeing coaches coach 5 places in 5 years. And just to bring some consistency to it.
I
I
would
just
agree. I agree. I'm on your side on this. I would
look, and I
yes.
know that it's not all about school, but still a part of it. You could at least pretend that it matters. And when it's 5 and 5, it doesn't benefit the student athlete, it doesn't benefit the fan base. The only way you're remembered is if you go and do something great that 5th year or your final year, because the other 4 places you left, no matter how good you are, hate you and will hate you forever for the most
Yeah.
part.
Yeah.
And so the only chance you have to be remembered at a school is having a 5th year or a senior year at your new program where you are great individually and your team has great success. And I don't know, just the system, as they argued for good 10 minutes on game day, is I don't believe it's sustainable.
Nah,
It's too
it is not.
expensive. Like in
Way
the
too.
in the pro leagues, you spend money on players and you get revenue back.
Yes.
These donors aren't getting that revenue back that are paying for the most of these players. And
Well, a lot of these universities are they're in debt already, just trying to keep up to get a competitive roster.
yeah, and you're going to start seeing the smaller sports disappear because more money's going to have to go to football and to both and primarily men's basketball, but women's basketball as well. And then you're going to start seeing other sports disappear. It's but I mean I will say for the most part the TV ratings are as good as they've ever been. The product is great.
But the problem is, and and this is what's different from the pro leagues, is the pro leagues, you're under one TV contract. The revenue split's equal amongst all 32 league teams. Same with baseball or ball or whatever. When you've got the SEC and the Big Ten making double what the Big 12 and the ACC are making in media rights revenue, like, then we start having an issue. And the ACC's locked into their media rights till 2036 that they can't get out of. So they can't even renegotiate until then. So, like, the gap's too big.
And that's why we just saw the Big 10 sweep men's basketball, women's basketball, and football for the first time it's been done since '07 when the
I would
SEC
like
did it.
and the SEC and the Big Ten are gonna fight this, but I would like to see a a Division One, especially maybe the Power 4, Power 5 teams all under one media rights deal. Like, they make a deal with ESPN and NBC and CBS, just like the NFL does with Fox and CBS and ESPN and Amazon and YouTube and whoever else. They're all under the same media rights deal. Put these conferences under the same media rights deal. Let's distribute this evenly, and let's get this back to at least a little bit of, where some of these teams have a chance, and we're not in
Well,
monstrous debt.
and you're not even talking about the teams that aren't in Power 4. So, like, you talk about separating them even more. Uh, it's just I still love watching it, but there's a lot of issues with it.
There is.
It'll be interesting to see where it goes. I think there has to be some changes. What those changes will be. Your idea is not a terrible idea, but it's just the Big Ten and the SEC are never gonna be like, "Okay, we'll
Right.
do
That's
that."
what you're gonna have to have some kind. I mean, it's not like Congress needs to get involved in sports, but, like, you're gonna have to have some kind of Supreme Court
Well,
rulings or congressional, you know, something, laws or whatever that come down to try to force these things through because no, these conferences aren't gonna agree on anything. They're
the
all
problem
looking
is
out.
there was just no rules to begin with, and this is the result. Look, there's a lot of things the result ain't bad. There's I mean, the product's still good. It's just you're probably gonna have a different players on your team every year.
Well, Michigan did it and they won a championship. So
And
if you're a fan of your team, and your guys are transferring out, you might get somebody better. You might end up winning a championship, and guess what? You're gonna be ecstatic.
you are, but if you also had Yaxel there for 4 years, it just adds something. I mean, just fact.
1 year's better than none.
Well, especially if you bring home a chip. Are you ready for Hello Friends?
Play
Can you do the
the
music?
alien where's the
Can
where's
you
the
do the
music?
music? Can you do it?
Do do
Can you I thought
do
maybe
do
you could
do
just
do do do. I don't know
sing
how.
maybe you could just hum it. Where's this week where is
Pull
Masters
pull up
Week?
my title on the sports calendar.
Yeah, where does Masters Week rank on your sports calendar?
It's definitely behind. Well, I mean, it's kind of runs right into NCAA tournament, but
Which is pretty
you know the
awesome.
it's, yeah. I mean, that week of the first and second round NCAA tournament is the greatest week on the sports calendar. But it's up there. I mean, it's up there with Super Bowl, and if my team's in the Super Bowl, then I would put that ahead of the Masters. But if my team's not in the Super
I
Bowl,
think
I'd
this
probably
is
put Masters.
assuming your team's not in something.
Yeah, I mean, it's up there. I mean, it's top 3 for me. What about you?
I might go too,
Number 2?
and they're
Well, it's
both
tough little top 3.
right there together. Now, look, if you like the NFL playoffs as a whole, would
Yeah,
maybe like I'm not just gonna go Super Bowl, but NFL playoffs as a whole, um, and March Madness and Masters, and then I mean you get one-offs like the Ryder Cups and the Olympics, which I don't they're not yearly events, so I wouldn't really put them in this category. But it's up there. And
yeah.
before we start talking about the tournament, I think we might do a quick little Masters draft. The the
Okay.
food and beverage menu is one of the bigger
It's always
it's a staple, of the Masters. So
oh, yeah, always a classic.
I'm gonna give you $12. I'm gonna give you $12, and you can
Okay,
spend it on whatever you want.
okay.
Egg salad sandwich, pimento cheese sandwiches, they're $1.50 each, or you can get some barbecue or a savory tomato pie or a Masters Club for $3.
What's a
You can
tomato
get a
pie?
Crow's
Like a
Nest beer
pizza?
for Yeah, you trying to get that?
Is that a pizza? A tomato pie? Is that what they call pizza?
I don't know. You can
Okay.
get a Crow's Nest beer for $6, a domestic beer for $6. All the beers $6. You get apple slices for $1.50. You can get cookies for $2. You can get Georgia pecan caramel popcorn for $2. Georgia peach ice cream sandwich for $3. I know I just threw a lot of prices at you,
Nope, I've
but
already
if you
got it.
could spend
I've already got it.
12
Yep,
bucks, what are you
12
buying?
bucks. I've already got it. First of all, I'm getting a beer. What was
So that's
the
12
domestic?
bucks. That's 6
What
bucks.
was
I
what was
thought
the other?
maybe you just might go 2 crow's nests and call it a day.
No, alright, what's a crow's nest? I need to
It's
know what
their
that is.
specialty beer.
Alright, so I'm going specialty beer, $6. I'm going $3 on my barbecue sandwich, and I'm going $3 on my peach ice cream sandwich. That's my 12 bucks. That is my 12 bucks.
I think that the Georgia pecan caramel popcorn is calling my name.
Okay.
I'm also
Okay.
getting a crow's nest because there's no way I'm not getting a beer.
Gotta get a beer, yeah.
So now I've spent $8. So basically, there's not a
You
$4 item, and there's also
you get
not a $1 item.
Are you gonna double up on, like, the, egg salad and pimento cheese over
I
there?
would never get an egg salad sandwich. I would eat a pimento cheese. I think I would have to do I want what else could I get, though? I could get 1, so I
You
have
get a slice
$4
of
to
tomato
spend.
pie. Get
I
you a
could
slice
get
of tomato.
I get a pimento cheese sandwich, and then I could get, like, a bag of chips or something.
So we're going beer,
Yeah,
popcorn, pimento cheese,
yeah, I can get a bag of
and
chips for $1.50.
some barbecue ruffles or something over there. Okay, okay.
I gotta have that popcorn. See, you're gonna have to eat that ice cream sandwich so fast, and with
Dude,
the
I would
beer.
eat. You understand I would inhale that ice cream sandwich. A peach ice cream sandwich sounds fantastic.
Was the barbecue sandwich a no-brainer?
Yeah, yeah.
Did you see Rory's, winning Masters dinner?
I did take a look at it. It's been about a week since I saw it, so I've kind of forgotten what it was, but
Rock
you wanna run it down?
rock shrimp tempura, yellowfin tuna carpaccio, wagyu filet or seared salmon, and then
Ooh, wagyu
sticky
filet.
toffee pudding. Would you rather have that or Scotty's dinner last year, which was cheeseburger sliders, Texas-style chili,
Oh, I love.
cowboy ribeye, or blackened redfish, and then chocolate chip skillet cookie?
Yeah.
Which one you taking?
Yeah, go ahead and give me Scotty's menu because I love Texas style chili. It's one of my top items of all time. I love
Alright,
Texas style
so
chili.
now
Give me a
Scotty's
chicken
versus
steak.
John Rahm's,
Okay.
and I'm gonna say that John Rahm has very little chance. Uh, I don't even know how to pronounce Bosque, Basque? Is that Bosque?
Yeah, I don't know what that is.
Basque? Bosque? I don't know. Crab salad, ribeye, and then tapas y pixos. I think you're
Yeah,
taking Scotty.
taking Scotty. Are you taking Scotty's over Rory's, or do you
I
love some
am.
toffee pudding? No toffee
Yeah, I am.
pudding for you?
No, I'm
You
not
know
a
who would
pudding.
hate you know who would hate the dessert on Scotty's menu? Maybe it was you that hated it. Remember when Matt Andrews was pushing the skillet
So,
cookie on us at lunch one
yeah.
day?
No, I just
You
didn't want a cookie for
you hated
lunch.
it. You hated it. You hate Scotty
I just
Scheffler's
didn't want a
dessert.
cookie for lunch.
You hate Scott Scheffler's dessert. Matt Andrews would love it.
And then so Hideki a couple years ago was sushi, miso glazed black cod, wagyu, and then Japanese strawberry shortcake. Are you still sticking with Scotty? All right, then so this is against Dustin Johnson, who you know is probably going to be close to Scotty's. Lobster and corn fritters, Caesar salad, filet mignon or miso marinated sea bass, and then this is for dessert, peach cobbler and apple pie.
Gobbler. I'm still probably going Scotty's with the Texas style chili because I do love that, but that's a good menu. What do you know what Tiger's 2019 his last
I
menu
only have
was?
the last 5.
Okay. I'd like to know what Tiger's
I mean,
menu was.
I wasn't planning on going back until Tigers winning in 1997 is what he picked for dinner.
When he was a kid, he probably picked chicken nuggets and macaroni and cheese. Dino nuggets and mac and cheese back then.
We'd
He was
have
like
we'd
19
have to
years
go
old.
back and look at it. Um,
Cotton candy.
today was the par 3, and
I saw
last
a
year the
couple.
star of the par. Huh?
I said I saw a JT started it off with an ace today. He was the first one.
Yeah, on hole number 2. I think there was 4 of them.
Yeah.
4
I
hole in
saw
ones.
Haig,
Fleetwood had one. I think,
Keegan,
Wyndham Clark had one.
Wyndham and Keegan were in the same group with Woodland, and they both had an ace. And then, yeah, JT, and I didn't see Fleetwood, but I guess you said he made one.
Yeah, and then remember last year, the start of the par 3 was Frankie Fleetwood?
Is that his kid?
And yeah,
Yeah.
and he's young. He's probably 6, 7, 6,
Yeah.
7.
You
Um,
keep twice you've done that.
what?
6, 7.
I didn't do it on purpose.
Starting to wonder.
No, I promise I didn't. But he couldn't get it over the water on 9, but he said he was gonna try his hardest. I'm gonna try my hardest.
I saw
So
him
they
put in.
interviewed him today, and he's just like, "Yeah, I've been working on it. I was feeling pretty good on the range." And he's just like, "I'm gonna try my hardest." And they're like, "Yeah, we know you're gonna try your hardest." And still didn't
Put
get
it
it there. Still didn't
in the drink. This one today looked like it might have had he went a little right. So
pushed it a little bit right.
yeah, if he straightened it out, maybe he would have cleared it, but poor kid put it right back in the drink.
Pushed it a
Maybe
little bit
next
right.
year. Maybe
Oh,
next year
and dude, I think next year it's a no-brainer that he's gonna put it
on the green.
over. Yeah. Alright, let's do quick little Masters draft. We'll
Going
do
first.
5 players on each side. Snake draft. I
Okay.
won the college basketball draft because I took Michigan. Even though you took Michigan in your bracket and I took Arizona in my bracket in our draft, you had Arizona and I had Michigan. So I guess since you won, since I won, I'll I guess I'll let you pick whether you wanna go 1st or 2nd. If you go 2nd, you get 2nd and 3rd, and we'll snake it from there on.
I'll go second. You gotta start us off with Scotty.
Well, look, he's not playing well, but there ain't I'm taking if you first pick, I've gotta take Scotty. Would you have taken Scotty with the first pick?
Yeah, probably. It's hard not to,
Would you have
right?
taken Scotty with the first pick? I
Yes, I
just
would have
think it'd
taken
be
Scotty with the first pick.
irresponsible not to.
Okay.
Alright, 2nd and 3rd.
Um, give me second pick. Give me Bryson as my second pick, and my third pick. I know it might be too early, but give me Xander Schauffele. Top
A lot of
5 of
talk
the
about
players
Xander
and
right now.
Valspar coming into this thing. I mean, he's looks like he's got his game back. He's finished inside the top 10 in half of his 34 majors. So go ahead, give me Xander.
I don't think he's gonna win 2 in a row, but, if he's still on the board, I gotta take Rory. And then for the last 2 years, the winner of the players has won the Masters. Scotty did it 2 years ago, Rory did it last year. Give me Cam Young.
Give me with my next pick. Give me Ludwig Aberg. And give me Tommy Fleetwood.
That was definitely gonna be my pick. I did not take it. I don't understand why John Rahm is always so high.
It's ranked 3rd on the CBS
I'm
article for
gonna go
some
Jay
reason.
Rose.
Is he playing well? I mean, he plays
I'm
on
gonna go
Louisville.
Jay Rose
Okay.
just because he came so close last year, and I think it would be cool to see him win. And then this is gonna be my last pick, so I'm gonna go somebody that is kinda a little bit, like, not that high of a gonna go Akshay. I had 2 people that I was really trying to decide between right there.
So do I have one more pick?
So
We have one more pick each or what?
you have 1, 2 you right now, you have Scotty. No, you have Bryson, Xander, Obear, Fleetwood, so you got 1 pick. Yeah, you do. You're Bryson, you're Xander, you're Obear, and you're Fleetwood for the final pick. Are we gonna leave John Rahm off? Are we gonna leave Matt Fitzpatrick off, Hideki, Minwoo, Patrick Reed, Morikawa, Spieth, Koepka, Goddard, Hovland, JT? I could name the whole field.
I mean, I'm not picking Rahm.
Rahm is the 3rd Who?
Yeah. He's
Rahm
ranked
is the
3rd here
3rd
on this.
choice for
Yeah.
for the odds.
Fitzpatrick's he's in the discussion, I think. Hideki's in discussion, he's won there before, but go ahead and just give me Chris Gotterup as my last pick.
I'll be honest, that's who my Akshay pick was between. Will we
Do
see
you have one
Scotty
more?
play
What do you
better
got? You got
than he
one more?
has the last couple weeks? I'm done, we're done.
Yeah,
My
he just had
team
his baby.
is
Maybe yeah,
Scotty, Rory, Cam Young, J Rose, and Akshay.
okay.
Your team is
Yeah,
Bryson,
Scotty
Xander, Obear, Fleetwood, and Gotterup.
I think we see Scotty play better. He just had his baby. Maybe that takes a little bit of the, stress off of him. I don't know.
We'll see. I think Cam Young is a guy I'm looking at right now. Xander, I think, is a guy a lot of people are talking about that could play well, but it's the I think there's something to the fact that the last 2 players winners have won this tournament, and that's why I wanted to make sure Cam Young was on my team.
There you go. Okay.
You've been following this Artemis too?
Yeah, who hasn't?
They're
I think it's
farther away
unbelievable.
from Earth than anybody. They're farther away from Earth than anybody's ever been.
Yeah, like, that's so cool. Like, it's unbelievable that we can do something like this.
They were on the dark side of the moon and lost where they couldn't have communication for I think it was close to an hour, 2
Mhm.
hours maybe. This is what I just what makes me think about it. Like, we're doing this now. It's 2026. We have a lot of technology. We have Teslas that you can hit a button and they will drive for you.
Yes.
We did this in the 60s.
Yes.
We flew a rocket to the moon in the 60s.
Yes.
And, like, just seeing this now and then thinking about that the fact that we did this 60 years ago, where technology was nowhere near what it is now, is just it's
I mean, I hate
kinda
that we stopped. I mean,
utterly
I kinda hate that we stopped, but, I mean, there were some tragedies along the way that I think kinda led into to the reasons that we stopped. But, I mean, did you watch the launch last week?
no, not live, no. Did you?
I did. I did. I was watching launch, and I'm not gonna lie, I was a little nervous. Because I mean, like, you think about Challenger, and you think about the, whatever that ship was in 2003. Was it, yeah, 2003 that exploded? So you're just like you're a little nervous when you see this because, like, one little minor thing could just blow this whole thing up. Like, the slightest something comes loose, and then kaboom. Uh, Glad it went off without a hitch, and yeah, like some of the images that are coming out from it all, like, of the moon and of Earth, and especially with, like, the kinda cameras and technology they have, like you mentioned, like, some of these images are fascinating.
Well, and dude, you talk about being nervous about the takeoff, which I get it, but for 10 days, you're just floating in the
Floating.
middle of space.
Yeah, yeah.
So, like, yeah, I get it that there's a sense of relief that the rocket took off. But God, there's got to be some uneasiness the entire time while you're on the
Is
other
that
side of the moon.
isn't this the easy part, though? You're just kinda floating out there. There's not much from rocket
Well,
thrusts going
hey,
on and all that, like, this is the easy part right now, just floating
well,
around.
coming, you talking about coming back's going to be hard?
That's gonna be hard.
Well,
That's gonna be
you're
hard.
always I would believe while you're floating in space, the comeback is probably in the back of your mind the whole time. You're just I mean, how many miles are we away?
Like 200 and something thousand?
I don't even know. Just a I don't know. I'm not a I don't know the exact number.
Yeah, let's look it up.
Here, 252,000 miles.
Yeah, yeah, that's right.
They're surpassing the previous mark set by the Apollo 13 in 1970. I don't to me, that's the remarkable part. We did this in 1970. And they actually got out and walked on it.
Apollo 13 didn't. They wanted to
Oh,
until that was the one
that
where
was
they
the
scrambled to get them back home because that was almost the Do you not watch the movie? You're not an Apollo
I
13
don't
guy
I don't
with Tom
remember.
Hanks? Oh my god.
So they
Probably
walked on
Jason
the
Momoa.
moon before that, right?
Yeah. Let's see. That was Neil Armstrong's.
I mean, I do a lot of research on hoops before we do this pod. Very obviously, do not know as much when it comes to flying to the moon.
That was Apollo 11.
Then what year was that?
Was that 1963?
God, more than 60 years ago.
Sorry, 1969.
Okay, so a year before. So we were just there was a point in time where we were just going every year.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. They were it was quite frequent.
Well, I think it's pretty cool, and the pictures that they're getting are incredible. I mean, you and the route they're taking, it's just like a it's not like they
Well,
just
they
fly
circled
straight there.
no, they circled the Earth, what, 2 or 3 times, I think, before they
Like, they gotta
finally took off.
slingshot it, and, like,
Yeah.
the math and everything that goes
The
behind all
calculations
that.
gotta be on, but it's gotta be just precisely on point.
Well, and
Like,
look, it's just my former assistant, Matt Shabert at Morehead State, his son was a student at Morehead, and they have an aeronautics degree, and he's working at NASA, and he's, like, in the control center working this thing. It's pretty
to be a
cool.
smart kid. Smart kid.
He's I would say he's a lot smarter than you and I, and getting paid a lot more than you and I.
Yeah.
But some people deserve to get paid more, and I would say he's probably one of 'em.
Yeah.
But they come home on Friday,
Yep.
I
Where they
believe,
splat where
and
splash down where they splashing down at?
I don't know. You're the expert.
Some, some ocean.
So they'll just land in the ocean?
Yep. Like, they have that little capsule that has, like, the parachutes attached to it, and they just land in the ocean.
I don't know. Clearly, I don't know enough about it.
Will splash down in the Pacific Ocean off the coast of San Diego on Friday at approximately 8:07 PM Eastern Standard Time, so 5:07 local time.
Is that
So,
how they always land?
yeah, they're, like, in this little capsule, and, like, the parachutes slow it
Is
up, and it
that
just splashes into the ocean,
is that in
and
the
it
movie?
floats, and then it floats. Yeah, it's in the movie, but I've seen it a couple other times, and it just floats, and then the Coast Guard goes out and picks them up.
Did you ever wanna be an astronaut?
Nah, I did that mission space in, Disney World at Epcot once when I was a little bit younger, and I wanted to barf as soon as I got off, so I knew that that was probably about the time that I was not gonna be an astronaut.
We went to Huntsville in 4th grade. I got a big giant "I spent the night in space" shirt. But yeah, never really contemplated being an astronaut. It's pretty dang cool, though.
It would be awesome. Like, can I just, like, float in space without the whole takeoff and coming back part? Just, like,
Yeah, I don't
teleport
think
me
that's possible. I think they make those simulators in Huntsville if you wanna do that and feel like what
just
no gravity feels
teleport
like.
me just teleport me to, like, the space station or wherever Artemis is right now, and
Dude,
then I'll teleport back.
it takes us a certain level of courage to get on that dang thing, doesn't it?
Yes. Yes.
Like, obviously, it's pretty cool to have that opportunity, and that's something they've been looking forward to probably their entire careers. But still, even when you get to that moment, just the anxiety that you've gotta feel when you're in that rocket and it's getting ready to take off.
Oh, extreme anxiety.
And then, like, just to know the next 10 days is you're up there. You you're up there, and you gotta sleep with no gravity, and you gotta take care of your business with no gravity, and the whole thing's just kinda it's wild to think about. Have you been watching much baseball yet?
Yeah, been watching the Reds almost nightly. They're down 7-4 right now in the bottom of the 7th as Brady Singer did not have his best stuff tonight, but they're the worst offense in the majors. They have scored the fewest runs, but their pitching has been absolutely great, and that's why they're off to an 8-3 start.
And they had a comeback win last night.
Had a comeback win last night with down 2 in the bottom of the ninth, and thanks to a wild pitch, got it to extra innings and put up a couple of extras. But Reds are off to a great start, 8-3, best start since 2011 maybe? 2010, 2011. Yeah, I've been watching the Reds nightly, and I saw your Braves get into a little fight last night.
Yeah, Ronaldo Lopez left a little high and tight, really wasn't that close to him.
Yeah, it was
Jorge
right after
Soler
Soler took him deep earlier in the game, though.
took him deep, but it wasn't he wasn't throwing at him. It wasn't even
I don't think
that
so.
close to be
I don't
throwing at him. But former World Series MVP for the Braves. He's had 2 stints with the Braves, but they threw down on the play
Yeah,
or
why did it
something.
take him so long? If he was gonna charge them, why did it take him so long? Were they just
So
chirping at each other for a while?
yeah, they I think somebody stole and they threw down on the play,
They did.
and they don't even have the cameras on either Soler or Lopez. And all of a sudden you hear the announcer start screaming, "Oh, they're going at it." And yeah, they just trying to chirping a little bit, and then Lopez
Lopez
said
got a good
something,
shot in.
and
Lopez got
then
him a good
yeah, and then Soler charged the mound, and dude, he was throwing some haymakers. So Lopez was kind of backpedaling, but dude never took the baseball out of his hand
did
and
it.
swang with the baseball in his hand.
He did, and he connected. He got a nice little piece of Soler.
And then Walt Weiss, the
Yeah.
manager, comes in and just body spears Jorge Soler to the ground, gets him up, calms him down, and basically ends the whole thing by himself.
Walt
As
Weiss might have it. You think Walt Weiss has a career in the WWE?
I
The
They say he
Goldberg
works out
years?
more than any other manager. But dude, I mean, he just took it was a football tackle. Like shoulder tackle, didn't use his neck, didn't use his head, took
So
him straight down.
no targeting on the play, a nice fundamental
No
wrap-up
targeting.
tackle.
Now,
Oop, good for Walt.
Soler and Lopez both got 7-game suspensions today.
Why you g like, give Soler the 7 games? He's the one that charged them out, but why you giving Lopez 7? Give him well, he also is a pitcher, so he misses, what, 1 start?
It really doesn't affect him as much. Uh, but also, like, what is he supposed to do when he gets
That's
charged?
what I'm saying, like, why is
Yeah,
he getting the same punishment as Soler
yeah.
who charged them out and started this?
Now,
To me,
look,
give
it
him, like,
might be
4 games.
because he was chirping a little bit too, and you kinda instigated that way, maybe, but
I mean, we don't have a camera to tell us that he was chirping, I don't
we're too there is cameras, you can see him talking. Yeah, he was talking. And not at first, but I think Soler was kinda staring him down and talking, and then Lopez talked back, and that was it. I don't have anything else.
No, no, that's it for
When
me.
nobody's putting phones in chicken coops. No other We tried to promote that. No other restaurants have followed suit. We
Have you
got
put your phone down more frequently at dinner in the last week?
I've thought about like it's more in my consciousness. I will say that.
Your internal coop.
I'm trying to be better. I'm trying to be better. Trying to be better. Zach Bryan on Saturday?
Zach Bryan on Saturday at the, L&N Federal Credit Union Stadium,
The lots will be open like normal, right?
5 hours before concert time, so lots will be open at 2,
Do you know what they'll cost?
$50, 50 per car. So, pile your buddies into your Chevy or whatever you got over there and split the
Because
cost.
there's no doubt that's a tailgate event.
The weather's gonna be nice. Weather's gonna be nice in the afternoon. Just behave yourself.
And the Louisville Kings on Friday night. I'll
Yeah,
be
they're
out
not
there
off.
again in my red hat.
They are not off to a good start.
I'll be out there again in my red hat.
Former Card Jack Plummer coming to town?
Who are they playing? Orlando?
Yeah, I think that's where he is.
I will say the first game was a great crowd. The weather's gonna be a lot better on Friday night, so if you didn't get out there the first time, come check it out. It was football wasn't great, but I think it'll get better. I do think it'll improve. And the crowd was awesome. The "Let's Go Kings" chant when they took the lead in the 4th quarter was pretty cool.
That's nice. That's nice. Hope this is it's a successful venture.
I do too. I think it'd be good for the city. But before we get off here, reminder, subscribe to the Height Differential however you listen to pods. I use Apple, you use Apple, right? For your pods?
Gotcha. Sure do.
Will you use Spotify, Amazon, YouTube, however you do it. Make sure you rate it and leave a review that helps other people find us. You can also follow us on social at Height Differential. But I think that's about it for this one. Just still a little sad that the tournament's over. I'm glad I watched One Shining Moment, so it kind of wraps the bow on it. I'm sorry you didn't experience that. Sorry you don't care about that, honestly.
You know what I am looking forward to?
What?
You ever watch the dude that does the Masters recaps? the rap like,
Yes.
that's coming up
Yes.
tomorrow and Friday. I look forward to that guy.
That yes.
Chris Vernon,
What
I think is his name.
what's his Tiger Woods chant? He goes, "Where's Tiger?" or something, I don't know.
Yeah. Tony Finau, where he be now?
Where he be now? And then the guy's like, 2 over, and he's like, "Oh." The one thing that sucks about it is the show's only weekdays, so you don't
Right.
get a
We'll get on the weekend.
continuation over
Right.
Saturday and Sunday. Like,
That is
with the momentum that he has with that, he should
yes.
do it standalone without it actually being part of his radio show.
I
It's
agree.
Chris Vernon. I just
Chris
remembered his
Vernon.
name off the top of my head.
I
He
just said
does a
that.
show out of Memphis.
I'm glad you listened to me because I said his name 10 seconds ago.
Well, your audio has been kinda going in and out throughout the entire show. So hopefully this show it sounds okay. But for the 6-6 deal, I'm the 410 Nick. We will likely talk to you next week on Monday night. It'll hit your podcast on Tuesday morning. We'll see you then. Yup. Give it to me. Your audio was terrible.
Well, not on my normal computer. My work computer's at work.
I can tell because there was some dead moments. We'll see what it sounds like. There was just sometimes where your audio cut out completely, where you went mute. So that's why I didn't hear you say Chris Vernon.
Tony Finau, where he be now?
It just did it right there.
That's stupid.